As we proceed to give you what you need. So my son, my 2-year-old son, chewed my laptop card, so I had to order another one, and it took about a week. So because as I was waiting on the card, I still was doing some of the recording to get these things out to time so that we could get you updated and keep you in the game. And the title, Street Up, Trading Places, Stock Market Class 2, Wall Street Elders. And we got our fingers in on everything because we put the corner of the market.
Stimulus checks went out already. Most of you received $1,400 or more, depending on how many kids you have. A lot of people are going to blow the $1,400 on useless stuff, random things. Some people buying the new PlayStation 5 that just came out, right? Some people buying them the new pair of Jordans. Some people getting their car fixed or trying to get them a ride. Last year, a little bit before this time, the stock market was down at its lowest. Some stocks being 33 cents, some stocks being down to the cents. And keep in mind, the stock market is the only game you can get in and make a large amount of money and become wealthy in a short amount of time without having no college degree, without working for the man. And at this time, we have the opportunity to trade places, to give you wealth in the crises. We are fortune tellers, and we got different ways this thing could go. A lot of people are making tapes about the stock market crashing. And what you must keep in mind is the stock market has crashed many a times and always came back. And keep in mind that the high rollers who are involved in this game got people on payroll to put out misinformation
about the stock market, causing the rookies in the game to pull their money out, and right after they pull their money out, the stock market boom. Now, if the stock market is gonna crash, it's gonna have to go high, then make a big dive. Now, some people saying, well, that's happening right now, right?
No, we haven't seen the dive yet. The big dive, it's gonna go up one more time before it dives, if it do dive. The key word that you must look at here is called inflation, right? And the root word of inflation is inflate, meaning to air up, to increase the gas, the content, the volume, the fourth dimension, right? And too much inflation can cause an explosion. Now, I hear people saying that the stock market is about to crash. But before it crash, it's got to go to its highest peak and then go down. Now, some people are saying that it's going down now, right? But after the Federal Reserve made their decision this week, now the stock is going back up. And keep in mind, they just printed like $1 trillion, over $1 trillion. They are pumping this money into the economy, right? Inflation, right? So this means that it's gonna air up, meaning the stock market is gonna probably go the highest it ever been in the last 53 years. And once it reaches that pinnacle, the explosion take place, and you go right down into a bear market. Because keep in mind, Joe Biden are forbidden, as my brother, the 15 elder say, vote forbidden, right? Forbidden just increase or is in the making of increasing the minimum wage. Now, what does this do, right? Because it's part of inflation. They are trying to crash the dollar, man, get rid of the dollar and go to the cryptocurrency, which is why we trying to get you in on the G999 new cryptocurrency that just hit the streets. And I think it's about at 2 cents a share, right? Right now, right? Okay. Raising the minimum wage, it raised the cost of living and forbidden. He's also saying that he's gonna put a tax, a major tax on the rich. And you gotta keep in mind, shit rolls downhill. So if he go around raising the tax on the rich, they gonna raise it on us because it rolls downhill. You gotta keep in mind, if a man owns honey buns and Joe Biden taxes him 50 cents extra, the people on the bottom, he gonna charge you 75 cents extra. And keep in mind, the Democrats Their whole game, right, is to get rid of the middle class, which they just about are almost done, right? But what this does is, if the rich tax the poor extra and the poor is not making any more money, right, they get broker and broker, and the rich still cover their costs, because the rich gonna cover their costs. If you tax them extra, they're just gonna raise the price of what they sell, thus keeping their same status, but the people on the bottom now gotta pay more and now actually sank more, making a separation in between the economy, because they wanna get us to this point, right? Well, we just like the movie Time with Justin Timberlake. I think that was the guy that was in it, right? Time, where he go to work and they pay you in time. And when you gotta buy a cup of coffee, right, you pay 2-3 minutes of your time to buy that cup of coffee. Or when you gotta get a bus ride, you pay 2 or 3 minutes to get a bus ride. So they wanna put you on a watch. They wanna put you on a clock, right? Which is why they give you a watch when you retire. And you'll be retiring again and again and again, because re means to do again, right? And they said all these watches that they give you at 10 minutes to 10, or 10-10, right? As in the 10 by 10 square miles called the District of Columbia. Guns on your tumbler, right? So we just want to bring this to you, man. Okay? Wall Street elders giving you the game. We ain't worried about the fame. Keep in mind, you gotta have your fingers in on this game, man. Because you can get your family out of a certain situation if you play this game right and keep an eye on this game. Now, I've developed 3 rules that we use in this game. And the first rule is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You put all your eggs in one basket and that one stock go all the way down, you could potentially lose everything, all your capital. And if you invested all your capital, all your buy or purchase power into one stock, and that stock do a flip stock or some crazy thing happens where that stock goes down, you lose everything. So space things out in this game, so that you can be official, like a referee with a whistle. As we told you in the previous stock market tape last year, you have different types of trading. Day trading, swing trading, long-term trading. You have option plays you can make, right? You want to get in on the dip, and the dip equals chips. We're going to be dropping another video at 9 o'clock tomorrow that's going to give you the top 3 or top 5 golden goose eggs for the week. But we're going to try to get these stock market classes out to you every Saturday. But you got to have patience. In this game, you buy at the lowest price. And so from there, the only way is up, right? And keep your game face on, because a stock can jump in one day and double. Some of the beans out here is getting in on day trading. Last year, a lot of millionaires were born off of the stock market, because a lot of these stocks, like we said, was down to 15, 20 cents a dollar. And now they're back up, right? They were down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And you already know what the pandemic is all about. But keep in mind that sunlight is in connection with the stock market. And keep in mind where we're headed with this, because we get into a lot of electric vehicle stocks, right? And we'll be giving some of them to you on the class we drop it tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll be sending the link out for the stock market class tomorrow. We'll be having that tomorrow evening, right? If you want to get in those classes, right? It's time to trade places. So overstand the game. And you want to get in this thing, and you want to go, and you want to hit some home run, right? You want to shoot your jump shot, swish, right? And our master teacher, he was in on the stocks, which is how he made up a lot of his money, right? A lot of his revenue came from the stock and real estate. And a lot of people were asking Baba questions about Abraham, Moses, Muhammad Rasulullah alayhi wa salam. They was asking about these different things about religion, but they never asked him about the stock market or the real estate that he was involved in, because Baba owned a lot of real estate, apartment complexes, different businesses, right? This is the thing that we as a people should be thinking on at this time. We told you this last year, right? Go back, get the tape, Trading Places Part 1, Stock Market Hustlers, right? And we got a book coming out in about 2 months, right? Called The Hustler's Manual, right? Which is gonna drop all the game on tax leaning, loaded titles, stocks, franchise businesses, corporations, the whole nine, you name it, right? We in on it. See, you want to buy on the pullback. The pullback is when it's at its lowest price, right? So you can buy in, and the only way is up, right? That's why we like buying stock at a cheap price, right? Because when you buy it at 30 and 40 cents or $1 or $3, the only way from there is up. And you stand not to lose a lot of money in the transition. Right now, the stock is going through a recovery, right? So you're gonna see the stock market go up starting next week. And keep in mind the connection between the stock market
and the sun, because everything is a currency. Everything is energy, and everything gets its energy from the sun. So the stock market gets its energy from the sun. And then you got to calculate in when these people make these announcements. You got to keep in touch with the news on these companies that you invest in, because they can have news of going bankrupt. They can have news of doing a flip stock. They can have news of up and coming events that they're going to have that's going to cause their stock to go up. So you got to stay in tune with these things.
This is your time to get in the game. We got brothers that's been with us. They're making $1,000 a day and between $5,000 a week.
In the meantime, Bitcoin is back up, right? Bitcoin is scheduled to go to $1 million a coin. Just think about it. If you would have bought a Bitcoin when it was $1, you would now
have close to $60,000.
That coin would be worth now close to 60 grand. It can be scheduled up to go anywhere between $1 million and 80 grand in the next couple months. So stay tuned. And we told you about the new coin called the G999 coin, which is backed by real gold, right? That coin, the new cryptocurrency, you better get in on it, right? While you can right now, because if it even jump up, I think it's at 2 cents now. When that coin jump up to 10 cents, $1, $2, you in the game, man. So get on your game, get your game face on, and get in this game while you can, while there's still time left, because we know eventually the dollar will come down like a plane with a broken wing. But you still have a little time to get in this game and make a couple plays, get you some land, right? And get set up. Right? So you need to be getting in this game with that $1,400 they gave you and use that as an insurance
policy. We're going to keep you in tune to what's going down.
Now, we restarted the stock market classes, right? And we had those on Sundays right after we have the newcomers class, right? So if you want to get in on that, send me an email. I'm going to lock you in on the newcomers class, right? On Wednesdays, the classes are closed. We now have the GCT Grand Lodge, right? And you got to be a Grand Master to get into that lodge. Now, the newcomers class gives you get you in to get your application filled out to be able to get in the Grand Lodge. And we had to make a vote on you. And if you get one white ball, right? Because they blackball you in the Masonic community, right? If you get one white ball, then you voted out, right? You're not allowed into GTC because we're making the security tight now due to a couple mishaps, right? But we got the newcomers class on Sunday, stock market classes on Sunday, right? So we can talk about the new stocks that's out for this week. And everybody that's on the YouTube or in the game right now that's doing good, we keeping track of them. And we keeping track of the big timers. Give you an all around LeBron James type game in this game. You know what I'm saying? So this is where we headed. Stock market is. And we're trying to get up to $25,000 capital, right? We're trying to get the book sales up so we can make a little bit of money to be able to invest in the stock market. But so far, right, when they send the $1,400 to you, and we might be a little bit late on this because a lot of people already spent most of their money already, right, trying to catch up. But take the $1,400, download you an app called Cash App or Robinhood, and there's several others out there, investor apps, and start investing some of this money, man. Don't just blow it. Them Jordans gonna wear out in a couple months if you wear them every day, right? Some people
taking Jordans and using them as a stock now, as a collector's item. Because some Jordans go on for $20,000, $30,000 a pair, right? So they collecting the Jordans and they gaining value. That's what you call guns and butter, right? Guns and butter. Guns is a thing that appreciates with value, while butter melts away, right? When you buy a brand new car and you drive it off the lot, it's just like buying a stick of butter and putting it in the sunlight. It eventually melts away and is worth less, unless you got a car that goes back more than 50 years. Then you got what they call an antique vehicle, right? You can you can collect these vehicles and they become antique after a certain amount of time though, right? But most of these cars is 60s, 50s, right? And the early 70s cars, right?
So we're dealing with guns and butter.
Right?
In this world,
you see, you either a buyer or a seller. And the sellers are the ones who getting on. You see, the key words here is equity, assets, credit. And we'll be having a class on credit as well, coming up here soon. Macroeconomics, product, surplus, supply, and demand. As in demand, and demand sound close to demon. And even though they classify D as a definite article, every time they add D on the front of something, it's a negative. As in decrease, as in deplete, as in discriminate, dematerialize. You see, D is put on the front of things to break it down, to subtract it. Which is why I'm thinking about changing my name just to Young Elder. But there are many beings rising now who laying claim to the title, the Young Elder. It's one of them is a comedian from Africa, and the other is a rapper. But we're dealing with guns and butter here. And I'm just trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99. We talking land development. We talking franchise. We talking big business. There's nothing personal about this. It's all business. And we make sense, so we should be making some dollars, don't you think?
if you a hustler, you buy at 50 cents, you sell for $1.50.
That way, you can reimburse the product and double the product, and then still make a profit. So you'll make 50%. You'll make the 50 cent back on the product plus another 50 cent to buy another product to increase the surplus, the supplies, right? And then you put the 50 cent, extra 50 cent on it as a profit, and then you could add another 25 cents or whatever the tax is on it, right? You add the tax, right? The 8 cent, 10 cent, whatever it be. So you'll charge $1.60 for the product. That way you cover the taxes, the profit, and you increase the surplus. This is a game we about to get involved with here, right? One of the games. And yeah, it's a game because you can hit it big and you can fall big. But what you do is you want to get in at that low price because the only way from there is up. And in your mind, when you press with wine at this time next year, you can thank us later, right? Because we're going to keep you on the game this year. We're going to keep you in the game, right? If you stick with us. And I'm hoping to get these book sales up to get in this game with you on time. I see the game. It's simple mathematics. We are extreme mathematicians. We are fortune tellers. We are the God incarnate. We got moves for everything. We are winners. We are champions. We can dance and they can't.